The ultimate fishing experience is brought to you by Lund Boats. This week on the Ultimate Fishing Experience, we head north of the border to take a behind-the-scenes look at life in remote fishing camps. First, Ryan DeShane, Jeremy Smith, and Dave Sanda take us on a drive-in trip to massive Lake Nipigon, Ontario, home of the world record brook trout.
Look at this beauty, a beautiful brook trout. And this is just the kind of experience you can expect to happen up here on Lake Nipigon.
Then we join Canadian anglers Steve McInnes and Alex Kessler on a fly-in expedition to Great Slave Lake in Canada's Northwest Territories, home to some of the largest lake trout on Earth.
Okay, hurry up!
So it's time to pack those rods, head north, and leave civilization behind. Armed with the right boats, equipment, tackle, and know-how, you can tame the wilderness and catch the fish of a lifetime.
In late August, 3 of us from the Fishing Edge packed the truck and boat with a healthy assortment of fishing tackle and gear. We were headed on an angling adventure to the Nipigon area of northwest Ontario, a destination that none of us had visited in our frequent travels. Our drive followed the Nipigon River north to Beardmore, where we met up with our outfitter Darren Goodman and his son Jared. Both helped us unload our vehicle and stuff our equipment into every corner of our home for the next few days. Namely, Darren's multi-purpose cruiser that's part houseboat, part commercial fishing vessel, and a fully equipped outpost of civilization in the remote Ontario wilderness. A 12-mile trip out to the first major set of islands provided plenty of time to rig rods and organize gear, allowing us to hit the water running the first afternoon. Darren gave us some tips and pointed us in the right direction. After punching in our mooring spot into the GPS to ensure our safe return, we ventured forth to probe our surroundings. And as it turned out, it didn't take long to connect with our quarry.
When we were back at the office planning on a great Canadian location to come, we all knew we wanted multi-species action. And Lake Nipigon quickly came to the top of the list. It's widely known as the best brook trout fishery in the world. It's the current world record holder for the biggest brook trout, and it's also the best drive-to destination for trophy lake trout anywhere in the country. You have truly far north-sized lake trout. And the other thing you have, which is always high on the list, is beautiful northern pike. Because if you get bad weather or fish are in a funk, usually northern pike cooperate pretty well. David, that boy's been chowing down. We've been seeing these guys coughing up a lot of smelt when they've been coming up, and that guy came on a Rapala BX swimmer, about the size of a smelt. We packed a wide variety of stuff. I'm gonna put this guy back and show you what you want to pack for a Canadian adventure like this. This is a basic layout of the presentations that we usually carry with us on a pike run anywhere. And for Canada, you don't have to have a ton of stuff, you just got to have the right stuff. And the bottom line is you want to be able to cover the water column top to bottom. Hard baits allow us to do that really effectively. Starting deep, this one's an X-Rap 30. This is a great bait when fish are set up deeper off of points or main lake humps. When fish are up a little bit shallower, a flat stick 16 is a great bait. This one happens to have internal rattles, and sometimes that can help get fish's attention. We've been having really good luck on this bait, and this is a Rapala BX swimmer. It's got just a beautiful finish to it, comes in a wide range of colors, and the action is just tremendous. A balsa bait with a hard plastic exterior, which I really like for pike fishing. You can catch a ton of fish on these things. They're just durable as heck. Swim baits are a mainstay in all anglers' tackle boxes. This is a storm wild-eyed swim shad, and it looks like a little whitefish, a little cisco, a little smelt swimming around, and it gets bit. So make sure you carry some of these too. And you always got to have hair. I really like these when we get into the cabbage beds, when that cover's a little bit thick. And I also like to have a good variety of inline bucktails for just burning the water. But one material that we really like using is tieable titanium. You can tie it on the fly, and it does a direct connection to the line. We just use a simple Albright knot. That's just a basic list. If you pack this kind of stuff, you're going to be successful. She wasn't done yet.
Another beauty.
Yeah, that fire tiger has been a good color. It's a nice jack, boy. Huh? Look at that bait. Get her back. That's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun on lightweight tackle. But the bottom line is, when you're going on these Canadian runs, you want to pack rods and reels that can do a lot of different things, because you got a limited space. And we've been ambitious. We're trying to go after brook trout, we're trying to go after lake trout, pike, and maybe even walleye. So we only got so much room for rods. So you do definitely want to take combos like this that can do a lot of different things. It makes it a lot easier from a packing perspective, and hey, you can just fish anything on these.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mercury Marine, 75 years of marine excellence.
Having departed our floating encampment, we met up with local fishing guide and tournament angler Muzzy Odawa and headed back north along the Nipigon River to launch at first light above the uppermost dam on the river, gateway to the southern end of the big lake. Our anticipations ran high due to both the historic trophy status of the river and to the fact that big brook trout were gathering in late summer spawning grounds along shallow sand and rock shorelines swept by current. With only a few days left until the brook trout season closed right after Labor Day, we were perfectly positioned to tackle some of the biggest brook trout that swim anywhere on Earth.
Boy, did he smash that. Holy cow. Oh, Dave, I got a beautiful brook trout on here.
Attaboy.
All right. This little spot seems to be pretty good. Wow, they got quite the fight to them. Look. Unbelievable. Oh, man. All right. Oh, Dave, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful brookie, or a speck, so they call them up here. Unreal. What a beautiful fish. Yesterday we were out chasing pike in the main lake, and now we came into the lower section of Lake Nipigon to specifically target these beautiful, beautiful brook trout. And it's been really fun and easy. I'll share with you what we're doing to catch them, but I'm going to get this fish back right away. It's real slippery, tough to handle.
We've got a variety of different brook trout presentations here today. First one is a small spinner like a size 2 or a small size 3. That's perfect. Big brook trout, big spinner. We've got a small spoon. This is typical for a lot of current situations, fast water. Match it to the size of the fish. We have a couple of different hard baits here, and the Rapala Countdown has really been an underappreciated bait. It sinks, it stays down in strong currents. I've caught it in just raging torrents and in a lake-type environment or a river-type environment. Okay. A little bit bigger bait. We've got our X-Rap 10 here. That's perfect for a good-sized brook trout. It looks just like a smelt, and that's something that they would like to chow down on. And of course, there's the one that Jeremy mentioned. This one is the Trigger X soft bait here. That also looks just like a smelt, which these fish are feeding on in this river. If you had smaller brook trout somewhere, you would fish a smaller jig, maybe just a hair jig. But for this is a mouthful, and that's what those big brook trout want to eat. All right. There's a nice brookie. Very
wow,
pretty
what
coloration.
a beautiful animal.
Yeah, very
Dave.
pretty coloration.
Nice.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, what a fish. That is a beautiful specimen. Wow, wow, wow.
Look at that fish.
That is a beauty.
You know, it's not only big, but just look at the colors. Purples, pinks, blues, yellows. What a tremendous fish that is. It fights really good, and that lives in a beautiful place. I love coming to places like this, and Nipigon is certainly a world-class destination.
Ryan and I were so impressed with what Lake Nipigon had to offer, we immediately started making plans to return next spring. But this time with a caravan of guys in tow. We decided to explore a different section of the lake. Traveling up along a dusty road on the east side of Nipigon, we stationed ourselves at Oneman River Resort. This resort sits 5 miles up a river from the lake at the foot of a rapids. Both the Oneman River and another river nearby held incredible numbers of walleyes, and not just eaters, but big fish too, including a couple fish over 31 inches. Another bonus was if the wind came up, we could still get on the water and catch plenty of fish. We explored another small lake close to camp that was chock full of walleyes, with 9 of us landing around 250 fish that day, and a number of them were the rare blue color phase. Big walleyes are nice, but the thought of tangling with those big brook trout is what brought us back here. Fishing brook trout on Lake Nipigon to me is like a cross between musky fishing and smallmouth bass fishing. You gotta pound a lot of water, and at times the bites are few and far between like musky fishing, but the fish use shallow rock shoals a lot like smallmouth prefer. Joining the crew of ragtag fishermen was Davis Feebeck. He's a conservation officer for Ontario's MNR and a veteran Nipigon angler. Nipigon is a world-class fishery for a number of reasons.
And you look around and we're all out here by ourselves, and that really adds a unique characteristic to this fishery. Just the sheer size and remote nature of it results in some really good fishing. The lake's best known for its brook trout fishing, really world-class brook trout fishing, and of course lake trout fishing, and also offers really good opportunities for big pike. But the brook trout of the lake is what really makes it special. The Ministry of Natural Resources has some pretty restrictive regulations where you're only entitled to keep one fish over 22 inches. There's barbless hook requirements, single hook requirements, and that really ensures that this unique fishery is maintained and provides a lot of opportunity for the anglers that are out here to enjoy it.
This was the second trip to this magnificent lake, and I can guarantee it won't be the last. I figure we've maybe covered 200,000 acres of the lake, so that leaves another 1 million to explore.
Hi, I'm Steve McGinnis from Adventures North. I'm here at one of my favorite bodies of water, Great Slave Lake, and I'm here with one of my favorite guys to fish with, Alex Kessler, professional angler, funny man, a good guy in the boat.
I'll tell you what, I've heard so much about plumbers, Great Slave, and giant lakers, and I've been wanting to come to this place for so many years. I'm finally here. I can guarantee you this is going to be a camp experience of a lifetime for me. And you'll be hearing from me later, because I'm sure I'm going to catch my biggest lake trout of my life in this body of water. It's amazing. This body of water is so big and so full of fish. That's all I've been hearing. I can't wait to go whittle it.
Great Slave Lake is one of the largest bodies of water in the world, but there's many unique things about it. There's 10,000 square miles of surface area. It's subarctic terrain, very scenic. This is prime lake trout habitat. There's probably no better example of a lake that's full of trout, big trout, nice trout, and it's a joy to be here to be able to tear it up for a week. We're going to be doing some traveling. We're going to be able to jig, troll,
I like that.
cast.
Lots of options.
Lots of options and lots of fish.
Apparently I hear it's 300 miles long.
Yeah.
68 miles wide at the widest, and the deepest water is 2,014 feet or something like that. That's a lot of water to fish. It'd be exciting to catch a fish of a lifetime. This is the place to do it. There's probably no better place to do it. I told myself no matter how sore my arms get, I'm not passing my rod to them. but it's gonna come to passing soon. Oh man, these things pull, it's unreal. Okay. There you go. Okay.
Tilt down a bit.
I'll tell you what, you have to bring a few different things. Variety is very important. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the rods you need. You need a fairly stiff shaft with a fast tip, because sometimes these big trout just nip at it. So if your rod's too stiff, you won't even feel the bite. Actually, these are twin rods. One's a spinning rod, one's a bait caster. We spool them up with 20, no stretch, Fireline, Suffix, any one of those. And we like to use fluorocarbon leaders, about 8 to 10 feet long. That's one of my favorite baits. It's just a big artificial minnow looking type bait and a pretty heavy jig. We use 1 to 2 ounce jigs here, and it enables us to cover the water good. This is one of my favorites, a big tube, yellow or white or green tube. We've been using a swim bait. You could cast it, you could troll it.
Very similar to this bait here.
The Berkeley hollow bellies, and Storm makes some good swim baits. There's quite a few companies that make them. It's a must-have up here. You can cover the water real quick with that bait.
Definitely, definitely. And in the trolling game, there's a lot of things that work. There's classic, tried and true. The old 5 of diamonds is a classic. Both Daredevil like that one and the Len Thompson is awesome.
Yeah, Eppinger is a very common one too. And they actually have a store here. It's full of these, so it's got to work.
This is one of my favorites. Is the new plastic herring. This is the Reese Davis Batrix herring system. It's got a kind of a plastic nose cone. Have a weight up at the front, a beaded line weight. You can adjust that. It could be 1/2 ounce, it could be 2.5 ounces, just to get it down a little bit. These work really good too. Magnum wraps, only 2 hooks on it, not 3. I like that. Let's talk about the electronics and how we use them the last couple of days.
We're actually driving around on these big flats close to where it broke to deep water. We're driving around the edges of these big flats and marking the fish. And once we marked them, we would just back the boat up and drop the baits right down on them when we were jig fishing. That's how we caught probably 75% of our fish. Like we had probably 6 or 7 double headers today where I marked a few fish, I drop it down. As soon as I hooked one and started bringing it up, I could see another one coming on a locator. So I told Steve, keep widening, you're gonna get him. And he's just speed reeling to the top, and boom, we get double headers like that. You wouldn't see that if you didn't have a fish locator on there. Okay, this is our last one troll.
Oh, look at this one.
Oh, look at
this
that.
one. He's right on the surface.
He got it. Look at that. Suicidal maniacs.
Isn't it great when you show up and you get down to the dock and they've even got Lunds and Mercs here for us to use?
Yeah.
You know, and that says a lot, because when you operate in this part of the country, in any of these remote fly-in lakes, your equipment's got to work. If it doesn't work, you've got guests on the dock that aren't happy. They didn't come here to sit on the dock and watch someone fix a motor. So everything's got to work. And when you see the kind of stuff they use and the abuse that this stuff takes every day, hey, I'm really happy that we got the equipment that we do here, farm the fish out of.
I'm right at home in Lund and Merc. That's kind of cool. I really, I've fished in them all my life, and the reason they have them is they're so dependable. Like they have to have stuff that's working all the time. It can't be failing. And one real important factor is the fuel additives and the fluids in the engine, changing the lower units, adding proper oil when you need it, greasing the steering, and just taking care of the stuff they have that's so important for their livelihood. They have to be successful, and that's one of the key points is maintenance. Maintenance is a big deal.
You know what I really like about these boats? Like a lot of places have boats I think are too small, and like we're having shore lunch and stuff, and we got all kinds of gear up in the front here, and there's enough room to put it all, and it doesn't ruin your fishing. There's a pretty good layout in here. I really like those walk-through seats though.
Yeah, I agree. Those boats, we put them through a lot of abuse every day at shore launch. You bang them into the rocks, and I've been here for 20 years, and most of these boats, they don't leak at all. Every day you're pounding them in big waves and banging them into the shore. They're great boats. I like them so much I just bought myself a camp boat for home.
All right, Al, it's our turn.
One of the highlights of the Northern Camp experience is right what we're doing right now.
The quintessential Canadian shore lunch.
This is unbelievable.
A big part of every wilderness fishing trip. I know I look forward to it every day.
We have to quit talking and start eating it.
Okay, we'll be here all day.
Oh, Steve, I think I got a good one.
Your biggie.
There's my biggie.
Holy, there's a plus 30 right there.
Holy smoke, grab him, he's right there. Great Slave Lake, Plumber's Lodge. In my books, the best place in the world to catch fish like this. Wow, what a horse! Look at that thing!
Something like that.
Okay, hurry up.
There's your plus 30.
That's the biggest fish of my lifetime right there. Oh, are you kidding me? Fish of a lifetime, Steve.
You got her.
Thanks, so awesome. This is so awesome of you to bring me up here. Okay, see ya, girl. There she goes. Wow, that's awesome. All my life since I've met Steve when he started Adventures North, he asked me years and years ago, you should come to Plumbers. You should come to Plumbers. I totally regret never coming here earlier. But boy, did I miss out.
I can't think of a better place that's more representative of the camp experience than right here.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like more information, check out lundboats.com or these other online outlets.